So you used like a $6 word there, quantification. That I don't know. It's kind of, that's a kind of word that I kind of know what it means, but it's nebulous in certain ways, as like I'm not really sure what that means. What does quantification mean in terms of business and
in the terms of business?
Duplicating your business.
Yeah, duplicating, quantificating, all these type of big words, right? Yeah. So really, it's data. And accurate data, and data that's going to help you. And in order to get that data, you need to quantify, which means figuring out the values of things, right. How much, how many, at what frequency, what percentage, like all of the accounting kind of aspects of your business.
Yeah.
You need to you need to take your accounting principles and things that you ought to be doing, anything that you're counting, not accounting, but
right.
accounting for, needs to be structured in a way that speaks to you to make good decisions. If you're not using your accounting or accounting for all the number and measurable things within your business and using that data to make decisions, you're not being a good entrepreneur.
Right.
So I'm an analytical person. Just at heart, I love the numbers. I love digging into, I love quantifying, and I always have. And that's helped me greatly in growing our businesses. But I find many operators and technicians, they hate the numbers. They hate the meetings. They hate the accounting, the bookkeeping, all of that. They hate it. And I get it. I do understand why. It's like a frustrating thing that's like, why do I have to figure this out? Why can't I just go turn the wrench? Why can't I go drive the truck? Why can't I go build the building?
I just want to have the fun
I just
stuff.
want to do the work. I'm good at the work. Okay, but if you don't price your stuff right, if you don't run efficiently, if you don't figure out where your time's going, if you don't figure out the smallest base unit that you need to get to and to duplicate to scale up your business, you can work yourself to bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And many businesses do. You can be doing the best job in the world. If you price it wrong, you'll go under. If you don't understand how to do cash flow, you'll fail. Right? So at the end of the day, you do need to build these skills, and it starts by measuring and quantifying things early on.
Yeah.
Right? So here's what happens in quantification. I'm gonna get into three things here. I've already explained what quantification is. Proving the model is something I'm going to talk about, and then I'm going to get into breaking things down to the smallest unit. Proving the model is if you were going to franchise your business, if you had to build your business over and over and over again,
right, like McDonald's or
like a McDonald's or a Wendy's or a car dealership or a home hardware or whatever,
right?
What would you tell the person doing the thing so that they could go do it just like you do it wherever they're doing it?
Right. Basically, you're telling them all the problems that you've already solved.
Yeah.
This is how you've solved.
Well, what's the model? What are the rules? Like if you have to come in and operate your business, what rules do you have to make sure that you price your product right? What rules do you have to make sure your customer experience is good? What rules do you have for how much time you spend on this or that or whatever, or what things need to be done in what order?
Yeah.
Right? Well, there's a reason for all those things, and you need to break your company down into the standard operating procedures of how things are done. Right? So if you don't have a standard operating procedure, there's probably no realistic measurable of efficiency. You can't tell how efficiently you complete a job, how quickly you do or how not, right? In our mechanic business, we started out by just pricing it on feel. So it's like, okay, well, that job should take this long. Well, I have an expert mechanic leading the show. He's my service manager. He's mechanicked for 20 years. He knows how long it takes to do jobs. So you say, well, it's this many hours to do that job, and it's this many hours to do that job, and it should take roughly this much time. Well, then when we start having more mechanics and they start doing the jobs, he's going, well, that guy's like, we were averaging a 50% efficiency rate, hours billed to hours clocked to our mechanics. I can't figure out why this is. Well, we're emotionally pricing it. Well, he happens to be one of the best technicians in 100 miles from here. And if he can do it faster than anyone else in here, it's not a duplicatable number.
Yeah.
Right. And how long do I feel like it should take? Well, even when he would say, well, that should be a 2-hour job, he'd struggle to do it too. So it'd take 2.5 or 3. Well, I didn't count the time it takes to bring the truck in the shop, and I didn't count cleaning up after the job, and I didn't count organizing the parts and going and getting the parts and bringing them back. And I didn't figure any of that in. It's just like, if I'm in my mind, it takes 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we've all been in that, it's going to be 2 hours and then 4 or 5 hours later we get back situation, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you price your business that way, you're going to fail. You're going to have a 50% margin. You're not going to be able to make any money because it's not your customer's fault that you're not pricing your product correctly, right?
Yeah.
So getting into that emotional way of doing things, that's not quantifying. Yeah. That's what that is. You're just not quantifying it. Well, how long does it actually take? Well, once you start collecting the data on how long it takes, if I go, okay, we've done 10 transmission repairs and they took on average 5 hours on 10 different guys.
Yep.
Or one guy doing it 10 times, then I can start quantifying that and go, okay, I need to price it this way. But then what efficiency do I need to get on my mechanic to pay for my shop floor, to pay for my tools, my supplies? Like I need to have all this stuff figured out and I need to prove the model.
And you need to be tracking it.
Everything needs to be measured. Everything needs to be tracked and everything needs to come together. Your data needs to be collected and proved to prove your model.